Hello everybody! Welcome back, welcome back. I'm so glad the new emotes are getting some good usage. I will try and... I guess I have like a month to try and fill up. There's still a couple other slots we have, so I'll try and get them. I'll have to get them commissioned within like a month, I think. I have to figure that out. No more. Thank you, thank you. Oh no. Oh my goodness. Thank you. I had a bit of a... I'm covered a tiny bit. How about I move back me up a tiny bit more? I did have a bit of like a crisis last night because it's like I don't deserve all this, but I'm gonna do my best. That's not a healthy way to think about it. I am deeply thankful, and I will do my best to live up to everything. Okay, thank you. Okay, so we're here. Spring cultivation, new intervallo. Got, let's see. Oh wait, that's different background. I guess we're outside a bit more. That still looks pretty nice. I don't imagine we're going to back streets. It would be interesting. I would like to see what that's like. But as always, let's take a look at the new units. I did drop my... Oh, Starmy, just thank you very much for the super chat. I did drop the guaranteed ticket. I mean the guarantee... What's that sound effect? The guaranteed like 3-star ticket. Got a dupe, as always. As always. But they're... always... Those things never work out for me, ever. But when... It was a time to use it. Thank you for the... What was it, 2.5 anniversary Project Moon? Wow, 2.5. Let's take a peek. I really like the look of the like... Looks like cherry blossoms in a classroom almost. This is a good aesthetic. Let's take a look. Yo Branch. Very excited and curious about these units. Oh, his voice lines. I mean, presumably I'll have somebody in my friends list will have a song at some point. And definitely Sinclair by tomorrow. Oh, let the smell of burning blood. Let's see, 6+ burn plus rupture. Okay, 3 burns, not that bad. Rupture, burn count, but that's 3 coins. Yeah, this is sort of my question. That's heads hit. Which means he doesn't really synergize too well with 9-2 unless any of these are negative. No? The question was, like, how rupture negative are we gonna be? Because even though the Mao do so much for rupture count, everybody else that we've been getting tends to be like neutral to negative. And at a certain point, even with all the Mao, we can't keep up. Fuel my rampage. Okay, 6+, coin power. Oh! Look at this. Count. Blood flame. Huzzah! Let's see what we're actually... That's it, none on this, but if this unit has Blood Flame, or if this unit has less than 50% HP, reuse this coin once per skill. Heads hit, steal 10% this... Okay, 10% is bonus wrath damage. Yeah, I guess the question is also, can you work on your burn teams? I don't see him replacing Philip at the moment, or at least not in Mirror Dungeons. The AoE is too nice. Unit inflicts 1 more burn and rupture potency with base skills. While this unit has this effect, heal 3 SP upon staggering or killing an enemy. What is 9-2? Maybe that balances it out. If this unit's SP is at max, when the above effect activates, gain 1 offense level and 1 haste. Next turn, lose 1, stack it, turn end. Skill 3. Blood Flame Massacre, Unfocused Volley, deal 1% damage for every 2% missing. Max 50%. Oh wow, okay, 50%. Missing HP percentage on self. If this unit has Blood Flame, or if this unit has less than 50% HP, convert all coins to Unbreakable, gain 1 Blood Flame. Point power for this, max 2. Flash power plus 1 for every 20% missing HP. 20 is not too bad. What are you? 213? Okay. Apply 2 burn to target on self. Not very much. But I didn't really imagine this was gonna be like Faust levels of self-burn. 1 burn count, 1 rupture, so you don't have much. That's a burn count. Not huge levels of count. Wasn't really expecting it though. 10% of this coin's final damage, bonus gluttony damage. Bonus gluttony damage against all targets. Okay, Clash will counter 3 Blood Flame. 10 plus, base power plus 1, that's 5 plus 4. 1% damage for every 3% HP this unit cumulatively lost in counter. Okay, that's not too bad. Apply 2 burn. I wasn't expecting, like I said, not Faust levels, but maybe a little bit higher than that. Okay, rupture count, so that's still negative. Exalted Command. For this is, we have Haitial, Bolus Contamination. Inflict 1 burn, cannot be staggered or fall. 3 blood, okay, this is nice. The 3 blood flame in the same turn. Substitutes or returns in. Yeah, so the question is, are you gonna be, you really do seem to be the one you want to sub in later. Let's get Battle Junk. Oh, I wanna read your stories. On hit against targets with 7 plus rupture, highest resonance times 15% chance to inflict 1 burn. This unit has burn, gain 1 blood flame, 1 wrath damage up, 1 gluttony damage up at next turn start, and that's on wrath, which isn't super common. Not super common on our team. I mean, I guess is there somebody else? I think Deviat Sinclair has it actually. Offense level up, defense level up for every 20%. Support, again. Burn or rupture potency with their skills. Once per turn. Where are we getting? What's the best way of getting that wrath? It's again only skill 3. Yeah, this is what I have. I did end up sharding Ishmael and Honglu. I was hoping to get like the guaranteed seasonal ticket, but it's not even available. So I just went ahead. I did have an okay amount of shards for both of them. Excited to finally be able to use Ishmael. I haven't totally figured out. I think we're in for like an interesting week of theory crafting with all these characters sort of coming together now. I haven't even really decided, because you have like the choice sort of between, I feel like once we add in like the new units, I mean, I guess the question is even, do you want Ishmael? And then Rhodia versus Greg. Greg has the better like Heisho Bolus Contamination for Honglu, who would definitely like it, but like Rhodia's the better on-field unit. And also I swapped, I uptied, which I hadn't done before, Dead Rabbit's boss. Era of 13 times 3 is over. I did this just for you, Ishmael. Getting our offense level down. I guess it lasted a reasonable amount. We had fun. It was time for 15 times 3 to rest. And I'm really glad they added this sort of like event banner, because just like Speaking at like newer players, they definitely get confused why like Aisha Otis just doesn't show up anywhere. Okay, but let's take a look at Branch Adept. Incredible design. Phenomenal design. Oh, I can't wait to use them. If this unit's speed is faster than the target, coin power +1. On use, if target has 5+ rupture plus tremor, coin power +1. Oh, farm watch and last. Inflict 1 bind, 2 times per turn. Rupture count. Oh, I can't wait to read your story. I'll probably save it for after the event. I mean, and find on YouTube. Rupture count negative. Do I forgot to check. I like, not that I played Uma Musume, but I did like, from my vague knowledge of it, I did like hearing him being called Kita-san Black. That one made me laugh. Crescent Blade Strike. Faster than target's coin power +1. If this unit's speed is faster than the target by 2 or more, deal Line Breaker on self times 20. And what's Line Break? Okay, 5% times damage, max 100. Coin power +1 for every 5 rupture plus tremor. Max 2 haste. 2 haste, pretty good. 2 rep. Okay, you're neutral. And it's not on Clash Win. So that's also starting to be a problem. Everybody wants Clash Win. People tend to fight over it now. Neutral, inflict 3 tremor, tremor burst, tremor count by 1. If the target doesn't have death right, inflict 1 concussion, has death right, 3 rupture. Interesting here, the no death right you want for concussion. Multiply the amount of stagger threshold raised by tremor burst and rupture damage by this by 1.2 rounded down. I know I saw people speculating this might even be like 2 or something. 1.2. That's still, I mean, that's like 9%. That's not bad. Because like rupture is already something that can just explode. And has exploded a little bit. I remember when we were doing Refraction Railway last season, and the bleed team was so dominant. I was like, I don't see how we improve on this. Because also the bleed team seemed like so well suited to, particularly with like Dawn's Yearning Merkala just destroying things. It's like I don't see how any other team can top this, and now Rupture's absolutely destroyed the records. Cavalry Vanguard's charge. If this unit speeds faster, final power +1, line breaker, max 80, shield, 5 line breaker, consume all of it to activate. Obsidian Storm Risers, Crescent Decapitator, 3 Strider, woo. Wind power +1 at 3+ line breaker. And also let's just check, gain 2 final power. If this unit took 100+ damage from a single skill, gain, wow, 100+ damage. Does not count damage from keywords. That's a hit. That is a big chunk to get 100. Rupture, tremor, bind, more bind, rupture or tremor count, tremor burst, reduce, strider, 2 concussion. Okay, faster. Wait, let me just check. Rupture. There's no count, it looks like. What about here? Commanding Cry. I like the icon. 1 clash power and 2 defense level. Expires at turn end. Strider Woo. Deals 50% damage. 3 rupture. Okay, that's 2 count. At least it's some count versus Tremor burst. I mean, how are we maintaining? Oh, I'm so curious about team building here. How are we maintaining tremor here? The thing is, we do know, like, yeah, Heisho contamination, bolus contamination, isn't minus, doesn't consume count. Oh, and also this passive. Okay, we know Exalted Command. When Family Hierarch candidate Ishmael inflicts rupture count with skills, gain 3 poise potency. But where's the poise count? 1 attack power, I mean 2 attack power-ups, not too bad. Crimson Spring as its assist attack. I really want to try this out. Adept Vanguard, Commanding Cry, offense level. Offense level. City and Storm Rider. Line Breaker, attack start. Okay. Shouldn't be too bad. I guess it depends on the targets. Tremor Burst twice, including ego skills. Okay, very nice. Wins a clash while having Strider Wu. Also, you check defense, clashable. It's defense, so it doesn't really matter. For count. Only three line breaker, okay. Can be gain per turn. Unless you know shield, gain shield HP divided by 10 defense level, max 5, rounded down. Obsidian exoskeleton shall rend and protect my flesh. Failsafe. Well, lessons have been learned from Malfaust. I did notice. It was quite noticeable that no death rights. So I think like death rights conceptually are really interesting. I did kind of think it was like something all the Heisho would have. But maybe it's just like not all of them do have it. I do wonder like flavor-wise what that means. I really want to learn more about all the like talisman stuff from Q Corp. I don't like that we're probably not getting all the Heisho. I don't mind them sort of like keeping it open for future. I retweeted on Twitter like a fan sprite somebody did of like Tiger Branch Ishmael, which looks so good. I saw like speculation that like she could be revived as a, or like Family Hierarch candidate Ishmael could be revived as a Heisho, which I just thought was cool. But she keeps those like white streaks. Mixing up stripes and streaks in her hair that just like fits well with the tiger. These ones. And like we'll have here, so we'll have the rerun of this event, and we'll also have the rerun of Nocturnal Sweeping. We'll also have the rerun of Nocturnal Sweeping, which I feel like if we got Heisho then and not middle or sweepers, because I know there's people that really don't like the Heisho, people would be mad, but we still have plenty of options for the Heisho to come back around. And if we leave them, our people will catch up. But there's still, I'd like to at least like know the design. Although there's something interesting about like not exploring the designs. Because as Tarzu said, PM does like to leave gaps. We still don't know what like the Trez Association even looks like. But let's... Oh, I can't wait. Oh, look! I love this. You will gain 20% points. Even if you don't want to. Yeah, let's take a peek. Ooh. Okay, Shifeng Nation, this is our time. Okay, 12. Oh, let's see. This is how Shifeng can still win. The family hierarch's proof. Hi, Bumble. No, not the Torment Nexus. The hall was chill with a tense air, and those present all sat in complete silence. Then there was Jia Yuanchen, with her lips slightly curled into a mirthless sneer. And at the center of it all sat Jia Shichen, unsure of what to say next. Well, everyone. Jia Yuanchen, seated next to the hierarch's seat upon which Shichen sat, smoothly takes control of the situation and begins the assembly. Honored heads of houses, lords of each family, their proxies, members, and... She nods lightly, acknowledging our awkward presence. And little Shichen's guests, who stay here at RH Corp, seems to be extending without a foreseeable end. Oh, who stay here at RH Corp seems to be extending without a foreseeable end. Isn't she technically from Q Corp? What's up with her acting like she's any less of an outsider than we are? Yeah, and did anyone catch that? RH Corp? Regardless of everything else, the fact that she hijacked the meeting from the get-go is ridiculous. Especially with Jia Shichen, the family hierarch herself, presiding over this official assembly. Clearly, she is using the pretense of assisting the hierarch to assert her own dominance over these proceedings. As we are all aware, Venerable former Jiamu has always discussed with and confided in me about the matters of the greatest import, the momentousness of which steered the very course of H Corp's prospects. See? Xifeng. Even after I departed the family for Q Corp, Venerable former Jiamu has always written missives to confer such matters with me. Something about it smelled suspicious, but we'd already missed the window to challenge her to present us with proof without breaking decorum. Thus, as it naturally follows that I would be the inheritor of the Venerable Jiamu's will, I shall be presiding over this regular assembly, which we now convene to discuss and determine the future of H Corp. What a grandiose and self-important introduction. It seemed clear to me that she considered herself to be the main character of the scene, or something. Mustard board member. Oh, you're pretty. I like your design. I mean, they're both. I'm just happy to see, like, NPCs with designs. Your grace certainly befits your station, Lady Yuanchen. Obsequious board member. We are all impressed by your utmost dedication to the citizenry of Hongyuan, despite your already saturated schedule. Look who's here! We can hardly thank you enough for your magnanimity, Lady Yuanchen. My parents. A true shame that they couldn't be here. I've always sung praises of your expertise, Lady Yuanchen. Yeah! Can we learn your deal now? Responses from the participants are just as protracted, only obsequious instead of arrogant. As heads of some of those houses were under investigation for consorting with the forces foreign to Hongyuan, their vacuum was filled by their children's generation, many of whom we had the pleasure of meeting during the family hierarch war. Very well, then shall we? Welcome Jia Shichen, the next person to sit upon the seat of Hongyuan's family hierarch. Greetings, I am... Now, let us begin. For many years, all those who have gathered here have toiled day and night for the eternal prosperity and growth of H Corp. Jia Shichen's expression immediately sours as Yuanchen unceremoniously cuts off her self-introduction. First on the agenda for this assembly are urgent discussions and passage of new major policy items that have been tabled for far too long. Distributive contribution rights, auctioning policy, quarterly amnesty policy. Hold on, Big Sister Yuanchen. Oh no, it's tiny text. Let me have a sip. Sip. Tea. Passing the distributive contribution rights auctioning policy would allow the open auction for any remaining rooms the day before reconstruction days, and the quarterly amnesty wouldn't do anything but give unfair advantage to certain families and high net worth individuals. I wish it worked like it did in Disco Elysium. By guaranteeing them large real estate assignments regardless of their performance in the previous quarter. Shi-chan stutters a little like me, flustered before continuing. My point is, these policies are going to rattle H-Corp's economy the moment they go into effect. Besides, these policies are pretty much drawn to favor lining the pockets of a select few families and high-ranking officials of H-Corp. If I may, Venerable Hierarch, lining the pockets? That is quite an odd turn of phrase to refer to the bare minimum of respect that society might repay to its highest contributing members, don't you think? Oh, before we continue, Shi-chan, I'm not entirely certain if you are aware, but ever since the ascension of the new family hierarch, the perceived value of Hong Yuan has been racing to, for lack of a better word, rock bottom. Clearly, this demonstrates Hong Yuan's concern and its lack of faith in the newly appointed family hierarch. Therefore, it naturally follows that our most urgent task at hand is to put a stop to this value and reputation freefall and restore prosperity and greatnesses to Hong Yuan once again. Yeah, okay, and that's the family hierarch's job, right? Why are you... If you had persuaded H-Corp's Articles of Association, you would have known that, should H-Corp be deemed to be in a state of crisis, the four great houses and the board of directors' voice may also carry de facto power in the assembly. Sorry. And just after all that... After everything that went on in the canto... It's back to this. And the board of directors, that's us, has determined that we are now in a state of crisis. State of crisis? What crisis? Everything that led to my ascension to the family hierarch was legitimate, down to the final approval. These unseemly rumors and slander are tanking our value, which we have built up assiduously through years upon years of toil. So, what is this, if not a state of crisis? And who wouldn't doubt the new family hierarch's qualities when this decline has coincided precisely with her ascension? Ya Yuan-chun was somehow turning the room against Shi-chan without presenting a single shred of evidence, portraying her as some burdensome hierarch who was single-handedly tanking H-Corp's value. You brought up the term presenting evidence. That gives us an opportunity to strike. No one in the assembly, not a single representative from any families present, stepped up to point out how Jia Shi-chan's swift actions were finally repelled the outside forces that had marched right up to Hong Yuan's front yard. Or how she deftly maneuvered her forces to quell the embers of war by quickly taking control of the chaos within Daguang Yuan. She hadn't shown any glaring signs of incompetence since her ascension, despite her relative inexperience, but... Everyone in Hong Yuan's board of directors, the heads of each family, averted their eyes as though all of that had somehow, inconceivably, slipped their minds. So, you take yourself to be a qualified individual for that responsibility, Shi-chan? Very well. Then proceed. It's such a good expression. We're all waiting for you to begin your briefing before the assembly regarding the last 30 years' quarterly net revenue records of Hong Yuan's singularity-related businesses. Your calculations on next year's fiscal debt forecasts and the exact recipe and variation numbers for the boluses that have been registered in the last 5 years. That's I need to remember everybody's voices here. It's interesting when you've I mean, it's not like I try and replicate them exactly. But it was pretty chill. I'm just thinking of the other candidates. The Venerable Hierarch has not received that data prior to the meeting. You must all be aware of the chaos that followed the ascension. We are still indexing all available materials to... Isn't that funny? Not once in the history of Hangyuan has the family hierarch ever failed to provide immediate and detailed answers regarding Hangyuan's historical statistics. Well, they've all had a little voice in their head helping them. Formally. Jia Yun-chun must have known all along, too. She must have known how the previous family hierarchs were all directly supplied with an immense repository of information through the Jiahuang worm, or something of the equivalent. And she's using it to target Shichun's weakness. Knowingly asking questions she, the first family hierarch without the Anamna word, couldn't possibly answer. The responsibilities tied to the venerable seed of the hierarch, Yamu, are matched only by the great power bestowed upon it. Thus, how are we to leave the matters of the wing to someone who is, evidently, unprepared for the task? I wonder if Yanshin knew about the worm. I think that's what's being implied here. There has to be a Faust out there who not just has access to the Gesellschaft, but also a Faust who has the worm. Let's ask her. Given the present circumstances, our hands may be forced to call to vote the motion of no confidence. The motion of no confidence? A motion of no confidence, when passed by the high-ranking political officials, can result in the removal of the chief executive from office. So they're going after Shichun's power. So this is the picture Jia Yuan-chun wanted to paint. Important family hierarch stammering and stumbling through a first meeting to a total near-unanimous lack of support from the H-Corp board of directors. Whatever jargon they're on about, it seems to me they've got not an ounce of respect for the lass or us. Never trust twats who overly obsessed with numbers and optimizations. They'll be the first ones to kick you out the moment they no longer see you as useful. You're not the only one who's pissed off, so can you please stop shaking your leg for a second? Don't need to make our frustration any more obvious, you know. My arse would have left the chair a long time ago if it weren't for this, lass. In H-Corp, should the board of directors unanimously vote in a favor of the motion, certain parts of the family's hierarch powers will be removed. It is entirely possible that she'll become a hierarch in name only. Really, like, after all that, a vote of no confidence was a possibility. Oh, so they're threatening to fire her unless she falls in line. This is some needlessly convoluted way to... The Assembly will now consider the motion of no confidence. Are there any objections to bringing the motion of no confidence against family hierarch Jia Shichun to the floor? Hold on, the vote of no confidence isn't a real item you can invoke so lightly. The Shi family has no objections. Let's say that the Wang family has no objections either. The Wei family too. Oh, Bao Chai. Well, you can see how the ending of the canto could lead to this. The rest of the previous family heads seem to have changed precisely nothing. Those in power wore more youthful faces, but their tongues still carried the same old resistance to change. So you're all the heads now. The new family heads were just as uncooperative as ever, and everyone seemed to be solely interested in staying in Jia Yuan-chun's good graces. New faces, same old. And needless to say, Heathcliff wasn't the only sinner fuming with rage. It's far too vexing to simply watch and do not. Right, I knew you wouldn't let this slide, Don Quixote. They're walking all over Shichun like she's not even here. Forsooth, we cannot let such injustice transpire unabated. Hey, seems like we're both in on the same page. That's it. I'm not going to hesitate to make myself heard again. This time, I want to be courageous. With your help, Don Quixote. Come on, let's do this together, okay? Very well, I'm in agreement. Yeah, let's go on 3 at the same time. If there are no objections... 1, 2... The Assembly will put this resolution to vote in a month. Oh, we still got a month. And... 3. Here, objection! I wanted to do that for so long. Loyal, have we gone mental? Sinclair stood tall at the center of the entire room's undivided astonishment. Alone. Don Quixote, still firmly in her seat, gazed upon Sinclair's proud stand and rubbed her nose. Young Sinclair, thou hast evolved indeed. What an unmitigated pursuer of justice thou hast become, with such unrelenting fervor and utter disregard for decorum. Certainly, mine efforts have finally borne fruit. What the hell? Did Don Quixote or Heathcliff suddenly rub off on you or something? Wait, no! What happened there, Don Quixote? What happened to objecting together? Oh? I had taken thy suggestion to mean we must voice our dissatisfaction through the official channels, borrowing the tiles of the illustrious Red Gaze and Department of LCC. Disputes in succession of powers on such high-level government are hardly ever resolved with rash grandstanding. Wouldst thou not agree? Ishmael's face. Why are you normal all of a sudden? Lad, what just happened? What happened to the clammy meek boy? And where's Hong Lu? Well, that's... I guess I just assume that this is how Limbus Company rolls now. There seems to have been an unexpected outburst from Chichun's guest. Guests. Withdraw your objection, and we will consider this a momentary loss of control and not enter it as an official statement. Sinclair's eyes were shaking like someone with his life on the line. If not, I take it that you have full confidence in her abilities. So please, I encourage you to elaborate. When and how will Chichun demonstrate her aptitude for the responsibilities of the family hierarch? His voice continues to shrivel into a corner. Anyone? Any one of the sinners? Not even like a ring from Dante? He can't. And how could anyone? How could anyone, when we all had a very clear view of her path to ascension? During the family hierarch evaluation, Jiao Baoyu donated the coins he received from Jiaqiu to you. Essentially, you pity-partied your way to victory. Pity-partied? And for your ascension, Jiaqiu and those outsiders from an upstart company had to, almost literally, carry you to the seat. Has there ever been a single victory attained by your own hands in that entire process? But have we not all been witnesses to the qualities she exhibited during the family hierarch evaluation and her own ascension? You must have no shame, snaking your forked tongue in the audience of both heaven and earth like an unwitting buffoon. That's when quiet, even footsteps broke through Jia Yuanchun's merciless dismantling of Jia Shichun. Yet, I see the point. The hierarch, with her grace, needs only demonstrate her already established qualifications before all. This is no place for an outsider to speak. But proceed. Just how will she prove herself before us? What an odd statement, coming from a fellow outsider who's been chattering for minutes on end. Forgive me, I could only presume from your verbosity that the right to speak in this forum was open to all outsiders. I know Zagong has a deeper voice. But go! You have said it yourself, No, that the vote on the no confidence resolution will proceed in a month. It seems to give the venerable hierarch a month to regain the trust of each family. What? It is rather clear to me that there are many who find their own defeat in the family hierarch war difficult to accept. Such a doubt is easily resolved. A match between clans should lay out the results quite obviously. Very well. A fair challenge between clans, which would preclude the participation of the family hierarchs, Heisho packs, and the Jialan guards. So you would remove her POW and dupe before the game even begins? Why not make this test a series of sparring matches in both academia and martial arts, if such is the case? I like the academia part. What audacity. Do you really have that much faith in Jiashi-chan's abilities? You must know the consequences of failing these matches, no? It would be a unanimous, one-sided end of the vote of no confidence. And naturally, any and all rights appertaining to the family hierarch shall be transferred to the board of directors. That is fine by us. You're free to choose any champion whom you see fit. Unfortunately, your underlings don't seem to share your inflated confidence. Finally! But in the midst of the confused, flabbergasted silence from the other sinners, a clear, carefree, yet defiant voice rings out. Honglu's retort. That's not true at all, big sister Yuan-chun. We actually have just as much confidence in Shi-chun as she does. His wide eyes stare directly and unblinkingly into Jia Yuan-chun's. It occurred to me that this might be his way of expressing anger. Impudent child. How dare you stare me down like that? Then you are welcome to try. 1 month. You have but 1 month to prove before all in an audience that she, indeed, fit to be the family hierarch. That she is indeed fit to be the family hierarch. Should you fail, the vote may as well be a mere formality. In other words, should she successfully prove herself, none of you shall again rightly challenge the independent rights and powers bestowed upon the family hierarch. The consequences of such recalcitrance would be no different from those that the traitors are facing when you agree. There's vocabulary in this chapter. Well then, we will excuse ourselves now. The gong turns around towards us with the same mysterious smile and slowly directs us outside the assembly hall. We may call them sparring matches, but you must know that each and every one of them is a test to prove your claim to the seat of the family hierarch. A month is a time far too brief for drastic improvement, regardless for whom it may be. Learning from a proper master for 10 months straight might teach you a few things, but who knows how long the search for one such master might take, not to mention the official channels through which you must bring them past Danguan walls, which may take up to 2 months. Why not relent now, and relinquish your powers of the family hierarch to the board of directors? We have a Faust. It seems that this fellow outsider's mental faculties are impressively lacking. My lord has spoken in the past that, when in the presence of 3 people, at least one of them is bound to be a teacher of mine. And like, Shi-chan, she found a river to survive La Mancha land, like, pretty much unscathed. And here they are, aren't they? The Shi-chan's masters, each carrying something new to teach her. All 13 of them. No, sir, all 13. The gong gestured confidently toward the flabbergasted sinners, and the assembly came to an end. Oh, no loading screen. No CG. And there's a... Oh, I really like that. I really like that chapter. 12 teachers. All 13. Oh, I forgot I was refilling this. I mean, using these. We'll have to use the box, I think. But I like it because it's such a funny concept. Look, a border. It's such a like funny concept, spring cultivation, and like doing like a princess maker thing, but like this all fits. And like there's proper stakes. 12 teachers. One sec. I need a drink. I think I forgot to show it off yesterday. I was too excited. I couldn't remember everything. Very important that I can still puff up my cheeks. We were planning to train Yoshi-chan anyway, but it seems that we are now under an unexpected deadline. Hey, when you said the LCB was going to help me out, did you guys mean that you were going to publicly humiliate the crud out of me at the assembly? Of course not, Chi-chan. Big sister Yuan-chan's an old snake. You just given her 30 days to set the perfect stage for my downfall, to prove to the world that once and for all that I'm not qualified at all to be the family hierarch. But Chi-chan, were you always so good at humbling anyone who dared underestimate you? Not so much anymore. Back then, like a dummy, I thought I just had to hold on with everything I had. I thought that's all I ever had to do, but now, things are different. It's true that I'm vastly underqualified to be the family hierarch, and she's right. I pretty much lucked into this position. Hey-chan, don't tell me that woman's BS actually got to you. Well, she wasn't completely wrong, right? I'm just some kid who happened to be just good enough to survive some traps and ambushes. I'm afraid that the responsibility of a family hierarch might be too much. Her self-confidence has significantly decreased compared to the observation from our previous interaction. The heck, Shi-chan? I don't remember you being this kind of character. What happened to the girl who looked down on us the moment we met? You even had the audacity to pretend to not know who we were, didn't ya? Where'd all that confidence go, girl? It actually got under your skin back then, huh? So, Shi-chan, what do you want to do? Are you sure you're okay with this? Are you okay with letting this happen? If I let it happen, Big Sister Yuan-chan's going to continue expanding her influence here. I'm sure she and the board of directors have been cozying up to each other for a long time. Is the implication that her testaments on her influence were true? Yep, it's true. Before she left for Q-Corp, Big Sister Yuan-chan used to always accompany Jiamu to these assemblies. If we just let them hold the vote of no confidence, they're going to unanimously vote against me and slowly reduce the family hierarch's scope of power. And, who knows, they might even call for a reevaluation, however unlikely that sounds. Besides, Big Sister Yuan-chan, I think her definitions of Hong Yuan's prosperity might be different from mine. What she's looking for isn't H-Corp's prosperity, it's Daguan Yuan's. And I know that this all has something to do with its ties to Q-Corp, which, I bet, has already been going on for a while just under my radar. I'm sure they've already had plenty of talks behind my back. Which is not the kind of vision you have for Hong Yuan's future, right? And that's why you spoke up against her? My vision for Hong Yuan is... I want to change H-Corp to be the kind of place where people can live without fear. I just never imagined I'd have to prove myself like this, and in only 30 days. Even then, your vision hasn't changed, right? It hasn't. Great. So it's decided then, huh? We just need Fao to deliver the bad news to Sod. So, to summarize... The responsibility of training Shi-chan to win these matches, I mean, these amorphous tests upon which hinges the family hierarch's fate, and almost every facet which is entirely under Jia Yun's control, by the way, and is probably a trap within the next 30 days is ours. We have to explain that to Sod. Wow, that sounds like a lot of work when you put it like that. Postmortem reports have become quite rote. Sometime later. How do I do like a SpongeBob one? A SpongeBob like voice when they do it. Sometime later. Really, thou must impress upon the illustrious Red's gaze that 'twasn't mine idea this time. And Claire stared blankly at Don Quixote as she made her desperate plea towards Sod. Yes, and I understand that as well. For the 8th time. As always, Sod was wearing the same refreshingly incomprehensible smile. The kind of smile that makes people increasingly anxious the longer it lasts. Well, that gives us about 30 days, during which those sparring matches, tests, whatever, will be happening as well. Great. Well, let's give it our best. Sinclair mutters in a near whisper, clearly feeling responsible for what happened. Yeah, I understand. I never should have stepped out of line like that. But something just... Yeah, so let's give it our best. I totally agree. We messed up everything again and... What? What? Limbus Company was always going to remain here and assist Miss Jashi-chun's acclimatize herself to the responsibility of the family hierarch. It was always a part of our plan. Well, I sure am glad that I took Faust's advice about how meticulous planning is completely pointless when it comes to LCB's missions. I never would have had to submit 9 separate disciplinary or incident reports back during the J Corp incident had I known. That's still a line that really makes me laugh. I believe I should be able to explain this further. Prior to his departure, my lord was concerned that such a thing would come to pass. That is why he has left Zulu and I to look after the new family hierarch's position, which must be still on rather thin ice. Oh, so that's what they were privately talking about when he pulled them aside. Doing nothing and allowing her wicked machinations to regress would irrevocably make the entire board of directors not but putty in Yuan-chan's hands. And that would have led that snake to de facto assume the seat of the family hierarch. Against such an insidious foe who wields intrigue as her weapon, the most vile strategy is the most direct one, to challenge her head-on. Love these political machinations. Maybe Shichun doesn't. Besides, has this not given you an excuse you needed to prolong your company's stay in Daguanyuan? This is also a prime opportunity for Jashi-chun to further solidify her influence here, depending on the outcome of the vote of no confidence. They have played right into our hands by accepting this deal. I don't want to rain on everyone's parade, but are we not even going to consider what might happen if we fail? No, we are not, because you will not fail, not with us aiding your efforts. Also, were you serious back then when you said we were all going to teach Jashi-chun? All 12 of us? I won't object to selecting only a few of us with better aptitudes to be educators. By the way, we may have already established internal... Pardon me. By the way, we already have established eternal hierarchy based upon the sum of each of our abilities. Of course, the results were entirely to my satisfaction due to an unexpected incident. Misodis, that is, a statement mired in narrow vision rife with factual refractions. I'm of the stance that the qualities of a good teacher are not defined by such statistics. So, you must be the one who placed last in that scale. Just don't say anything, bud. Best not to stand out like a sore thumb. I may have overreacted. My lord has said that from the virtuous we may learn to replicate their merits, from the flawed we may learn to avoid their failings. As long as the student is willing to learn, anyone, anything can be a teacher. Even a VTuber. I also, to embrace this teaching, seek from all those whom we come across. Just what in the heavens are you doing? I am preparing a lesson plan for young Shichun, our family hierarch. Wow, we sure got on that fast. So, what are these yellow wormy things here? Aha! 'Tis a star, twinkling in its radiance. According to the schedule you have prepared, the student would have -3 hours available for sleep. This lesson plan's execution will require cooperation from T-Corp. Yeah! How I do it? Yeah! Yeah! It would be a mistake most fatal indeed. I shall correct it post-haste. Zugong was staring at Don Quixote's expression of her wild artistic merit upon the curriculum with her usual crescent moon eyes. Wait, is that supposed to be Zugong's grimace? Of course. Each to their own, I suppose. I shall not be shaken by every little thing until we have their actual lessons plans in hand. Hey, thanks for putting your faith in us, Zugong. We barely have any of that to go around ourselves, so I understand it couldn't have been easy. You could say that I've learned my lesson. The recent events that have taught me that the path of learning is truly one without end. I feel bad I didn't have like much of my own commentary there. I was just living in the moment. We have a big scroll here. Another student. Limbus is a lot of Limbus learning. Yeah, how does Sinclair get involved? I just keep looking. I want to see what's on the other side, as always. I think after this we get the mini game. Full game. Yeah! Oh, the pinky. Lulu. I see that you have all individually worked on your lesson plans, as per Zugong's request. Oh! Oh my goodness! Look at her! Look at the little bunny! Oh, she looks incredible! The bunny! The artwork will flow. The big sealed sword. Bunny. Bunny. She looks so cool. I've received a total of 12 lesson plans. Oh yeah, Zulu's suppressant. I'm interested in that because I remember bringing it up. Like, what is? How do you like unhaste show? Like, what's the deal with Wei? That's why I really want to see, like, the new units stories. F5 stories in particular. The fact that I have to actually take suppressants on top of to like suppress them. That like conceptually, that's why I think the Heisha are so interesting. Hold on, shouldn't there be 13 of them? Even the executive managers decided to spare their precious time to teach a class. Yeah, I handed my lesson plan too. That is because... so who didn't do their homework? I also love this room. I mean, a chunk of Dream of the Red Chamber is dedicated to just Hongwu going to school. There's not that many. He kinda stops for a lot of it, doesn't want to. After a brief silence, everyone turned around and looked at one of the sinners. It ain't me. Oh please, at least try to make a compelling argument. Who other than you could it possibly? You think you've been acting out of character a lot recently. What's going on? Well, that's, Sinclair was drenched in sweat for some reason. Actually, In Sinclair's seat was a large stack of papers, each filled to the brim with writing. Sinclair, are these papers? I'm done. Sorry I got too into making a lesson plan and just couldn't stop myself from writing. Phew. Sinclair couldn't have appeared more proud as he placed that big bundle of sweat-soaked papers into Lou's hands. And she receives it with a mild trepidation. I want to hear her voice because I remember in the... Well, this won't be for a while. In the story, it's a bit muffled, isn't it, right? Because she's fully bandaged. So it's like, couldn't remember it exactly. I know it's on the deeper end. You seem to have dedicated quite the momentous effort in drawing up this lesson plan. What's up with her? Let's start reviewing from the first of the stack. 108 analytical approaches to an aesthetes AAA. What does AAA mean? How do you plan to explore all 108 approaches in a month? Appreciation of artistry and assassinations. F you went too far. Right, sorry. Flip a page and continue reading for those 108 approaches. What paint did you use? It's quite viscous and the paper is partially melted. Wait, watch yourself. You almost got some on my arm. A painting? Is it Lou? Entrails coating the world. So cute. Now you know how aesthetes appreciate the artistry of slaughter. So what the heck did you paint in your paper? Hey, get it together. Lou stumbled briefly. Whatever was on the paper must have given her quite the shock. She is part of the Pinky. Hey, show a doubt. My mind wandered for a moment. This is too dangerous to be used for a lesson. Thus, it goes to the discard pile. Is this a hint for more discard units? A word I never thought I would say. Weak sauce. Zillow crumpled up the paper without hesitation and tossed it out of sight. Next. Intro to Societal Reintegration. Impressive title. Chapter 1. I'm sorry I can't do this justice. Chapter 1. How to shake hands with your left hand when the situation calls for it. Chapter 2. I can't tell what that expression's meant to mean here, Greg. Are you proud or not? Chapter 2. Exploration of exclusively long-sleeve fashion and practices. Chapter 3. Projecting confidence and why having a bob arm is totally cool. That's you know how it is. Be proud of who you are, all that philosophy stuff. I wanted to give this lesson a bit of a paradigm shift where we can all come to see our flaws, not as failures. Evidence of our reality. I wanted to give this lesson a bit of a paradigm shift where we can all come to see our flaws not as failings, but as evidence of our individuality. Which will usher in a world where we can carry on with our lives no matter what kind of arm we have. Discard. Next. We'll quickly flip through the pages. No, I need all of them. Intro to Degenerative Linguistics. Subheading. The power of words. Subheading written out. The power of words. Sticks and stones may break their bones. So let's add words to the pile. My credentials include the ability to dress down an opponent so hard they fall to their knees and beg me to stop. I have plans for applications as well. The lesson teaches methods of pertaining to disguising compliments and criticisms and vice versa. Oh, this seems rather difficult to learn. I have concluded from my hitherto observations that Yashi-chan is an individual of great promise in this field. Follow my instructions to a T, and I guarantee you that this cadet shall be able to have the upper hand in any verbal confrontations. Is this a curriculum to make the best brawler or the best family hierarch out of me? Lulu seemed quite interested, but Yashi-chan's vehement veto eventually overruled the suggestion. On Justice. Another impressive title. Yeah, short and sweet. Subheading. Methodologies of captivating an entire room with preoccupied audience. Discard. Ah! Wherefore? Next. Well, I mean, it's words. We could have gotten one of those poems that are not words. Praxis of ego splitting concerning intramural conflict between the self and the reflection and paradoxic ally fractured theory of idealism, in which one attempts to open an opening door to open the door. Utterly incomprehensible. Discard. Perhaps Miss Ryoshi's advice to truncate the lesson title should have been taken in earnest. Survival and exploration. 21 reasons to pay attention when the exploration team leader is giving advice on the upcoming adventure. Case study for 30 horrible mistakes that occurred because the team was distracted during the leader's lecture. How to track down a troublemaker who tries to sweep trouble under the rug while the team leader isn't looking. Someone ignored my advice that we should have been moving 2 steps ahead. Finally, I've narrowed them down to 3 culprits. Wait, I forgot to take that part out. And into the shredder it went. When did that paper shredder get here? Oh, it's really... You'd think in the city they'd have, like, a paper, you know, like atomizer. Not just a shredder. Yeah, and it's huge. And why is that? Who has, like, little Godzilla? I mean, I guess that has to be Dawn, but... The art of using yawning as a cover for popping a cookie or 2 in your mouth, especially useful when getting lectured. Hey, if you get good enough at it, you can do that with nuts, too. Says you who made those crunching noises in our last meeting. What? Nah, do you take me for an amateur? The art of social maneuvers. How to let it flow through you. How to not make things awkward when you walk right in on someone bad-mouthing you. The most important part of this art is to flash a refreshing smile in a way that looks earnest. It helps when you convince yourself that smiling is what brings good fortune. Smiles have a way of disarming people, giving them pause and making them hesitate. I remember that. Big Bro used that technique to confuse a lot of Danganronpa people who hated him. I see. This, well this. I can't quite bring myself to throw this into the shredder. Next. How to remain in complete stillness for a week until the next command is received. This lesson plan was designed based on Rodion's advice that I must prioritize strengths that are unique to myself. Not bad advice. Look, in my defense, I didn't know he considered that to be his unique strength, okay? Let us consider whether standing in complete stillness for a week is a quality one might seek in the family hierarchy. This one is certainly interesting. What What separates bravado from bravery? Nothing! Sawed off and grab your weapons. Yep, always gotta read the full print. Ha! It's my philosophy that reason don't necessarily need to be considered before coming to blows. Martial prowess is indeed an indispensable part of family hierarch's qualities. But our focus is not on developing a hierarch of a syndicate. Next. Information disparity as a driver in inequitable treatment. Oh, that's actually the most interesting sounding one so far. And the application of engineering frameworks. Okay, it's kind of losing me, but I'm still on board. For systematic resolution in rational self-interest driven societies, Gesellschaft. And is it still going? That was 1/5 of the full title. I mean, Faust, it is. If you want to get published, you can do the really long title way, or a lot of people really like the short, snappy titles, as we've seen before, the sort of comedic titles. It seemed that the same trouble has hindered both you and I. Every word in that title was added for its absolute necessity. Indeed, indeed. After she had gone through the majority of our lesson plans. Finally. Now that that's over. Yes, it's finally my turn. Phew. Sinclair sighed with the gravitas of someone who's just been bestowed with the most important mission in his life. Thinking back, even back in school, I used to daydream about becoming a teacher myself. I thought I could be good at it. So I guess you could say that I'm pretty happy to be given an opportunity like this. I call my lesson Theory on Self-Overcoming. We have to accept that everyone stumbles at first, but by always striving to be a better person than I was yesterday. Hey, but what if I was yesterday more? Oh. Ouch. That's okay. Everyone has their own unique potential sleeping deep inside them. Potential. So, with everything I've learned and experienced so far, let me teach you. Let me teach you how to not doubt your own capabilities, how to always shoot higher. Hold on, you had me for a second there. But what's up with acting like you're an infinitely more enlightened person than I am? Of course, I prepared a speaking class where you can learn how to speak with modesty, too. I never would imagine Sinclair would be this into it. Yeah, too bad he's so into it that he's not listening to what Chichen's saying. Following that, your company's... it seems that Zulu has completed her review. Oh, I see. Now, how's everything going, everyone? Class prep going well? My curriculum most especial. Okay, so that's a no. That was Saud's impression upon taking a quick glance at Don Quixote, who was sobbing and cradling the shredded pieces of her lesson plan in her hands. Well, it wasn't a complete bust, at least. Sinclair's lesson plan survived. Ew. Miss Sagong, Miss Saud, I prepared a full 30 days worth of lesson plans. Would you like to take a look? But Sagong and Sad weren't looking at the dozens of lessons plans Sinclair presented so proudly before their eyes. They were looking away. Sagong especially was looking away with an unmistakable expression of pity. So he doesn't know. Would you mind explaining this, Zulu? I could not bring myself to tell him. Apologies. So this young man produced this entire sizable stack of lesson plans all on his own. I see. Weakness has found its way into your heart in the face of such earnest effort. I understand. However, it has been decided that Sinclair will not be participating as one of Jia Shichun's teachers. Or should I call you Pupil Sinclair, to be exact? This has got to be a mistake, right? Isn't Shichen the pupil here? No, there hasn't been any mistakes. My lord has specifically instructed that you are to learn from this as well. What? What? Oh, this is a good CG. There's someone who has this, like... I do feel like there are different artists that handle different CGs. There's one that's like... I feel like does... It's like... Oh, it's hard to explain it, but there's like a different kind of roughness that's used. Seriously? This isn't right. Guys, this isn't right. Now this looks like a proper classroom. It would have felt pretty dang empty with just Shichun sitting there all on her own, don't you think? Besides, I bet Sinks the resident expert on going to schools, right? School was a luxury for me, you know? Yeah, maybe, but that doesn't mean I ever wanted to go back to school. You should learn to be grateful. I don't dole out my teachings to just anyone. Don't forget we have to redo the whole lesson plan under their supervision. Otis, you always get on your soapbox and try to lecture everyone about something after every single battle anyway. And you, Ishmael, you always get hyperfixated on something. Once you find something interesting, you never stop talking about it for 3 hours. At least, and... Yay, Ishmael! Same! I will ensure that you receive the best education I can provide, Sinclair. Hold on, Isan. I thought we were the underdog duo. Remember during the checkup when I said, we got this? We were going to get this together. The evaluation painted a twisted picture of the true scale of strength, the sole measure of which erroneously relied entirely on physical strength. I shall not hesitate to impart knowledge for those who acquire education. Congratulations, my lady. You have found yourself a desk mate, which some also call a bestie, depending on the desk's placement. Desk mate? Bestie? What the heck does any of that mean? Huh? Jashi-chan's eyes widened with confusion, as though she just heard those words for the first time in her life. When I first met her when she was 16, she explained to me that she hadn't attended any school-like institutions. This is par for the course for children of the Hongyuan, who are raised for the purpose of becoming the next family hierarch. The reason being that schools can be a perfect place to assassinate someone. So, desk mates and besties. Sinclair began to explain, seemingly resigned to the fact that he was essentially going back to school for a month with the other sinners as his teachers. Usually sit next to each other and help one another out. A bestie might nudge the other awake when they doze off, share their homework with one another if one forgot to do theirs. They usually end up being included in the best memories of each other's school time. So not very important at all, huh? I think I got this on my own. I don't need a bestie. I may have come a few years late, but I'm moved that my lady has finally had a chance at experiencing school. Same here. I remember it like yesterday. Jichin would sit and watch other kids walk to school from a distance, tears welling in her eyes. Dude! Well, that reminds me. One day, out of nowhere, she started saying something about eating from lunch boxes with friends. I haven't a clue as to how or where she even heard about it, but she snuck into the kitchen and... Wait, don't you guys have lesson plans to write? Come on, hurry up. 30 days are ticking down. We've only got 30 days. Of course. Unfortunately, I've become quite occupied with another task of great importance, assisting Wei with indexing and reviewing various documents that are in critical need of organizing. Thus, I must leave the lesson planning task to you two, Lulu and Miss Sod. Have you any thoughts on this matter? Drink time. Slacker. What was that? I said nothing. Okay. the sparkly-eyed. I want the sparkly-eyed CG forever. When do we get... Oh, can we do it? Is this... let's do it? This is one of those things where it'll be really interesting to, like, retroactively do... Retroactively go back to nocturnal sweeping. Because they are so... I mean, it's the point that they're so intimidating there. It's even a different icon, his little desk. Zulu, excuse me, Zulu and Sod appear to have aged several years overnight, their faces sunken and sallow. Finally, after referencing the idiosyncrasies and various statistical data available to us regarding each sinner, we managed to come up with an appropriate curriculum. She does have bags under her eyes. Miss Zulu? Apologies. Sleep deprivation has bereaved me of a clear mind. The path of an educator is truly a grueling one. Marching to battle would be much easier. Still, thanks to Mr. Jiaqiu's methodology you shared, we did find a way to make this quite efficient. Efficient, huh? To be a true family hierarch, there are dozens, hundreds of virtues one must understand and master, however. To do so in 30 days as promised is an implausible effort. Thus we have categorized the countless virtues into three super categories. And they are called... what are these supposed to be? Ji, Yong, and Ren. The wisdom, the wise lose neither people nor words. To hold one's silence in need of speech shall cost them people. To speak in need of silence shall cost them words. A reasonable sequence of logic. Yong, courage, the ability to overcome fear, to act decisively. Have too much of it and risk becoming a brute. Have too little and risk becoming a craven. It needs harmony and balance. Okay, so we don't want to, like... We need them balanced. Don't want to overdo it. So how far would we have to go with corporal punishment again? I recall no instance of any discussion regarding corporal punishment. Enren, humanity, is the benevolence of the heart, the compass of behavior that dictates respect toward every human. Clearly, most of the faculties of the school are severely lacking in all three of your criteria. Just how do you think they'll be able to teach students anything? Yeah, like a certain someone who needs a lesson in... Are you sure I'm in good hands? Just what the heck am I supposed to... Whoa. Sorry. My stray dog just, like, walked by and brushed my leg and it surprised me. What are you under the desk? See? Where's Wei? Mr. Wei and Mr. Gong are currently quite preoccupied with handling the monumental task of paperwork. Alright, Mr. Wei wanted me to deliver this message to you. Be strong, my lady. Wei! Despite our protestations, the 30 days of classes commenced. Is it time? Is it time? Is it time? Is it time? Combo, can I have a tutorial, please? The goal in this game mode is to raise the main stat Ji, Yong, and Ren as high as possible over the course of 30 class days. Class effects. Each class specializes in raising different stats, and some classes might even raise or lower students' morale values. Aside from days with fixed classes, you can choose up to 3 classes per day. The variety of selectable classes grows as the days go by. So on in Fire Emblem Three Houses, which has its own teaching mechanic, there is a specific mechanic. There's sort of like an unpatched bug or something you can use where you can sort of like make the month repeat. You can just like use that to like farm stats infinitely, pretty much. It can only be in like months with like, I forget, it has to be like a certain setup. With the power of Dante and TT2 protocol, I'm sure we can create similar effects. Class results in morale. Classes can either end in success or failure. A successful class will greatly increase the amount of stat gained, but a failed class will greatly reduce the amount of stat gained. Higher morale results in a higher chance to have a successful class. Class combos are class combinations that give certain bonus effects when classes are taken in the same day. So combo, fix their association encyclopedia for dummies. Once you discover a combo, you can preview its activation in the schedule menu. Taxidermy geniuses. Combo list. View all discovered combos and undiscovered combos in the combo list page. Once you've selected all your classes, select Be in Class to Be in Classes. Joust! Dashi-chan, Sinclair, classes progress automatically. During class, you can review the students' changing stat values in real time. I really want there to be, like, different endings. Taking class gives experience, or EXP. Once a class EXP has been maxed out, the class will be upgraded to the next level. Taking higher level classes will yield more stat increases. Please note that classes cannot be upgraded beyond Master. Raising Ji, Yong, or Ren stats beyond a specific level or upgrading a class to a certain level will enhance the student's combat prowess. These enhancements are applied separately for Dashi-chan and Sinclair. Select Magnifying Glass to view her stats. Solo battles. Dashi-chan. On certain dates, combat encounters may occur in place of classes. Dashi-chan will be participating in these encounters on her own. Combat progression. Skill slots are chained automatically. Press the quotation, open quote, gong-shaped button, close quotation, to begin the combat phase. Only by winning the combat encounter can she progress to the next day or the next class. Okay. This is Isarivi incredible. Like when they showed off this in the trailer, I was conflicted because we've never had excuse me, we've never had like new gameplay like this. This is not real. But the UI did not look placeholder or anything. Oh. Can we have this kit, please? Oh, we're gonna get a hard mode. I want to know what like hard mode Princess Maker is. The mandatory class. Oh. A schedule. Are these all? It's already set. Tip top. Resume class. Oh, Kincon. Oh, do they all get scenes? Okay. Drink. My name is Isang. That is all. The class I've prepared for the day. Listen to this music. Ah, I've heard plenty about your mirror tech. Which makes me wonder, going by the level of advancement in that technology, couldn't you have approached it from a different angle? You know how how technological advancements usually goes. People invent for the sake of creation, only to have their inventions inevitably warped into weapons of destruction. Indeed, you show much promise already. As you surmise now, the mirror has, in past, almost been employed to shatter possibilities instead of reflecting them. I'm sure that's the angle most others wanted to see happen. Removal of potential risks. Sounds much more palatable than potential itself to some people, after all. You have not seen this fandom. Correct again. Yet destruction was a word that bore too much suffering for my heart. My sole egress from it was abandonment of my quondam fellows and my life's work, making myself a fugitive from the past. How did you bring yourself to just abandon it all? I conversed. With who? With myself. That lies within me. As you are aware, the mirror's reflection extends beyond the veils of our own reality. It reflects the potentialities, the latent strength, and the world. Yet even among them, the reflection of the greatest importance is that of the self. Let not the innumerable worlds of the mirror enchant your gaze. First, one must direct their studies inward and reflect upon oneself. I learned how to be more true to myself by looking into the mirror. Dashi-chan has grown! D plus 4, Young plus 4, Ren plus 18. Sinclair has grown. D plus 4, Young plus 4, Ren plus 18. Tip-top, tip-top. Don't look very tip-top there. Now, if you're prepared, do explain what you see in the mirror. You needn't haste. What the... Well, I mean, if it's Chi-chan, is she gonna see herself in like LCV because she swapped with Ishmael? For some reason, Chi-chan appeared to hesitate before the mirror. Hey, you know, it's been a while since I looked into the mirror for so long. My lady, do you recall Sunjen of the Shift family who contacted you for a meeting? Yeah, the guy who said he was going to show me a precious flower that blooms only at night. I remember that you were vehemently against me going out there, so I stayed inside. I wonder what kind of flower it was. Don't tell me you were actually looking forward to meeting him, my lady. Look at the doll. Oh, of course not. You're wise to stay inside. It was revealed that you weren't the only person who was invited, my lady. That vile man had hired a group of assassins to ambush the meeting spot. I would have been waiting there to spring the trap had you gone. But apparently, he was outplayed and had his limbs and head torn off as punishment. What a relief, isn't it? I guess. I'm glad I didn't go away. You were right. If only you still had the Wu branch under your control. Stop it. We agreed to move on from that, remember? We don't have to talk about it. I was brushing my hair and looking in the mirror as we were talking, but I realized that I no longer recognized the girl in the mirror. I don't know why, but I found it so hard to meet her eyes. But I brushed it off because I had to. An experience like that was going to be a common occurrence anyway, and the family hierarchy war was always looming on the horizon. I'm glad we're getting just like a little bit to see the mirrors, because it was a present theme in Dream of the Red Chamber. Perhaps what you felt then may have been shame, but it is paramount to face oneself nonetheless, nay, especially so if it was. And Sinclair, what do you see? I see... Well, I just see myself smiling. I don't see what's so out of the ordinary. But it seemed like Sinclair couldn't really bring himself to face the mirror. Hey, after what we just discussed, I think I understand something now. Now that I have some quiet time looking at my reflection, I think I uncovered a part of myself I've had hidden away for a long time. I learned how to be more true to myself by looking into the mirror. Yeah, I'm not gonna read all these out. Big booster rent. Okay, I see. This was like scheduling them all like this. These songs become an expert. Slash resist. Okay. Okay, select. So these are. Okay, I see how this works. You know, there's a good amount here. I'm very curious how these combos go. Perhaps these are the Project Moon approved ships. Be passionate and dream on, Fixer Tales. I feel like that's the longest scene I've ever done Isang's voice in. I can't keep it up. I can't go low. I've never had to. I feel like every interval I've had to speak for him, he like barely speaks. Tis true that a station of teaching is prone to imbue one with a sense of bashfulness. Sinclair and Shichun both sat with a bit of apprehension as well. Which is understandable, given what Sod told them sometime before the lesson started. Some time ago. Otis, who'd been glaring daggers at Don Quixote for a good while, finally decided to voice her doubts to Sod. So what is Don Quixote, that woman, supposed to teach? Have you not considered that her usual flippancy might only cause more trouble than it's worth? You worry too much, Otis. While she may not look it, Don Quixote is extremely well versed in those adventure tales. And a few other things, you'd think. Why would any of that matter? Have you yourself considered that fixers often appear when history is in the making? Let's see here. Don Quixote took a second to savor the moment, as though she had been preparing her whole life for it, then continued. Amongst the greatest fixers whose honored names were engraved in history, verily, let us commence this lesson with a tale of Fixer UFA. This tale beginneth in the year... sometime later? Are you done? Just how can she continue to talk at such length? She's been going on for ages. Maybe she really... How long did they think they were gonna be stuck on the warp train? And Dawn, I still really love that line. The one where she's like, I will tell stories the whole time. I can't wait for that to be voiced. She could do it. I think she could do it. Thus cometh the time to test thy dedication to this class and the knowledge that should naturally come with it. A pop quiz, if thou wilt. When should you even find the time to prepare this? I can assure thee, 'tis a quiz of entirely reasonable difficulty if thou hast paid attention in class. Were thee not? Does this pop quiz have prizes? Ha! But of course, I came prepared for such inquiries. For each correct answer, I shall bestow upon thee from this very treasure chest of mine. These precious, precious fixer badges. Oh, I want them! For South, I did not let a single day go by in which I did not polish each and every one of them on 3 separate occasions at the very least. Not the purple tier one? I don't know. I don't really need them. Hold on applause, for there is a bonus reward for the victor who, by the end of this match, carries more badges. Thou shalt attain the role of a protagonist in this theatrical play of my making, Fixer Chronicles. UFA, 'tis an opportunity of a lifetime. I'm still not really... It's not doing anything for either of us. It's still a pretty useless reward, but if you're turning this into a competition, I won't lose. Seriously? What, scared you'll lose? Is history your weakness or something? I'll have you know that I was the teacher's pet in every single history class I took. And I'll have you know that I was, no matter the subject, showered with praise from every master I ever had. Okay, if that's how you want to play it. I'll have you know that I was a prodigy in other classes too. I did great in art classes, pretty good in math too. I was just being humble because I didn't want to steal your thunder, Ishi-chan. Oh, then let me tell you that I was trained in the mastery of at least 10 different disciplines every single day. One of those days, you know, when my masters told me, he said, "Oh, don't challenge her at art. That's her thing in Dream of the Red Chamber." Painting was her thing. Looks like Miss Jiashi-chan's finally getting a feel for how friendships close in age are forged in school. That's good. No matter how excellent her masters were, there is some experience you can't just learn from teachers. I TikToked in response. 'Tis year 505. What is the historical community's consensus on the most illustrious battle that Fixe UFA is said to have taken part in? Allow me to impart to thee a major clue. If thou hast paid attention as I discoursed upon the 5 pillages in which Fixe UFA was mentioned, this should not be a difficult question to answer. The Honorable Fixer of the Cerulean Heaven, who attained triumph in the Battle of Rhino Tree in year 465, hath said what was the worst ordeal she had faced in her career. I've got it. It's when she had to forge onward, despite watching her dear comrades fall one by one as they held the line to buy her time. Darn it, I was too slow. Youngshi-chan, thou art incorrect. Honorable Fixer of the Cerulean Heaven is recorded to have testified that the worst ordeal in her career when she was forced to stand before her enemies with hair that was not luscious, as the supply line breakage caused her regular delivery of nutritional supplements to cease. What thou hast suggested, Youngshi-chan, was her 17th most difficult ordeal. Wow, we maybe got easier ordeals in LobCorp. She's speaking like she was actually there. Thine impression is quite understandable, for I am trained in the ways of vividly regaling these tales. But most of these are tales I've learned from books. Much did I anticipate an opportunity to regale these tales to such an audience. Enough to study the ways of minstrels. There was a clear look of pride in her twinkling eyes. Time certainly flies when hearing the tales of exciting adventures. I love the like Sentai. What was the secret technique Honorable Fixer Lysander employed in his resolution of the case of the Fey Forest? Speak its name in full. I've got it. It's a summer night fantasia. Yet I cannot let pass such an unmotivated retelling of a super ultimate move. Hardly could one internalize the true noble spirit of Fixers by simply reciting with such apathy. Thou must recreate the exact pose and the enunciation. Are you kidding me? Come on, you can do this, Joshi-chan. You can do this. This is nothing. Okay, no, I want this CG forever. Illusions of a midsummer night shall devour thee whole. Summer night fantasia! Of all the Shakespeare, I don't think Midsummer Night Dream was the one I was expecting to see first, but I'm glad it is. Thine enunciation was quite shaky upon the word illusions, yet thou hast demonstrated sufficient courage, thus I bestow upon thee this badge. Oh yeah, Titania, good point. I grow tired of this nonsense. Just how much longer are you planning to drag this on? Why the boss music? Thus muttered the hero, then declared, I shall tear this evil storm asunder and find a place for this blade at the center of thy heart. Dante lights, left side. Gotcha! Don Quixote, who was watching Sinclair and Joshi-chan's two-person play, silently wiped tears away. Bravo, bravo. Certain minor details are missed. such as that UFA, the fixer, was left-handed, and that he had a habit of playing with a lighter in his left pocket before every duel. Yet, 'twas a wonderful reenactment indeed. I have no other critique to impart upon thee. When faced with great adversity in night adventures, rekindle the memory of UFA. Who is... I assume this is... a particular character I want to know. UFA the Fixer's final duel. Remember it well. Thus cometh to the end, the lessons of today. Huh, it was just for a moment, but I think I'm starting to get it. And now, I get why she's so obsessed with Fixers. Who wouldn't be? Clutched tightly in Chichen's hands were the badges Don Quixote had gifted to her. I was completely absorbed in the exhilarating tales of Fixers. I even forgot to breathe at one point. It was a Chinese general. Okay. So does it matter this, like, order? I guess we want to, like, boost morale here. I like that this boosts morale. Faust and Yisung do not lower morale. Tip top. So this, I guess this can, I think it does matter. Yeah, I was just seeing. Probably want to boost morale before going into the next one. Seems like, at least beginning, this is pretty set, what they're allowing you to do. Boom! This is a component part taken from the structure that forms H-Corp. This may prove to be an opportunity to conduct an in-depth analysis on the nature of the former H-Corp singularity, which has been enduring for such a long time. Oh yes, tell us. You look kind of upbeat today, Miss Faust. Indeed, an opportunity to study the old H-Corp singularity is not one that comes often. As there was potential for integration to Mephistopheles, I made a request to disassemble a part of the bus's engine, but was denied. A shame. Are you the one who built Mephistopheles though, Miss Faust? Mephistopheles is indeed Faust's work, but not all of it was mine. It is possible that Faust may never reveal every small detail that went into its creation. I would very much enjoy a chance to completely disassemble it, even its engines, so that it could be reassembled with my own hands. Yeah, sure. That's it. Oh, here we go, taxidermy G. Oh! This is the best event. Managed to learn various detailed mechanical fundamentals about old H-Corp technology. Oh wait, I missed it. Fixer Association Encyclopedia for Dummies. So that's how it works. I think I get it. Didn't think this is how I'd get to learn more about the old H-Corp. Oh, tell us, tell us. I don't think I can do much against a reconstruction day right now, but this knowledge will certainly come in handy when the day comes for me to gradually dismantle the iniquitous thing. That iniquitous thing. The day when Hongyuan can be a place where people can live without fear. Without the fear of the encroaching restructuring days. Without obsessively counting their rooms to see if they'll fall or not. Until Hongyuan can be a place where you can sleep with the promise of safe tomorrows. I'm sure you'll pull it off. Oh, and I learned a lot during this lesson too, Miss Faust. The voltage must have been set too high. Repeating experiment with a different combination of fuses and wires. There's supposed to be a lesson somewhere in there, right? Hey, we got an expert here. Yay, Gregor! My war tales. Oh no! The war. So that's again minus morale. Then we gotta bring in Dawn to bring up the morale. We want more yang. Who's the most yang? Well, we have less Ren. I'm gonna keep balanced. And then like put the stacking. Okay. Class success rate plus 40%. Unlike some of the other classes, which are more on the upbeat side of things. The room's air felt grim and solemn as soon as everyone saw what Gregor had written on the chalkboard. On war. Losing a wing war leaves a much larger, longer-lasting impact than some medium-sized enterprise closing up shop. It might be too soon to talk about this, but we came pretty darn close to one recently, didn't we? We were this close to a large-scale war breaking out right here, which absolutely would have happened if Miss Shi-chun here failed to finish her ascension. It would have spread like wildfire too. This doesn't feel like the appropriate time to say this, but like, I'm happy. I'm happy we're getting just... I feel like I've been waiting the most for like Gregor development. Because we had Rhodia with Time Killing Time, and obviously this is gonna be pretty Sinclair focused. And I am getting what I want for Sinclair. I feel like his anger issues have been sort of like underutilized, and I wanna... Because if we're still at the beginning of Damien, there's like a lot of like interesting places that his character is gonna go that I want to see, but we haven't really broached them. But Gregor, I remember even talking about it during like the Warp events. There's like this, Gregor is like such an interesting concept and like place in this world that we don't get to see very much. So my class is going to be about what exactly happens when a war... Oh. The piece of chalk slipped from Gregor's fingers as he went to scribble something on the board. His left hand was trembling as though the room's temperature had plummeted only for him. Man, why's it gotta... Excuse me, Miss Sulu. Is it okay if I smoke? Go ahead. You good? Well, what else am I gonna get a chance to share the realities of war right to a wing chief executive officer's face, huh? The moments that just don't come off your skin, no matter how hard you scrub at them. Hey, take a break if you need it. I'm going to listen to every word you have to say here today, no matter how long it takes. Man, do I appreciate the sentiment. Well, still, though, I can't dilly-dally when Miss Shi-chun's got other stuff to deal with, huh? So, let's take a look at how things were at the very beginning of the Wing War. Now I know enough about urban and trench warfare to give an explanation of my own. And that's why the smoke war fronts were mostly characterized by trench warfare. No one wanted to risk fighting in concrete jungles where they could be surrounded by enemies at all times. So everyone tried to draw each other out to an open field battle, which naturally turned into trench warfare. Of course, every wing has a different singularity, so this isn't really applicable to all cases. It's just that the former G-Corp found flat plains easier to maneuver in. I feel like Dangongyuan would make pretty good use of Hongyuan as a defensive fortress, especially with its internal structure constantly shifting around, which the Heisho know and use very well. Exactly. This should explain why we were hesitating outside Daguanyuan. Remember the thumb fellas? The ones we met who were going in circles? Not to mention how the Heisho all utilized the topography of Hongyuan differently. Even if an outsider were to get a read on how one of the branches maneuver around Hongyuan, As long as the 12 Heisho branches were standing, Hongyuan is unassailable. Well, despite going into all that, I'm sure we all know the best answer in all warfare is not having a war in the first place. I'll be honest, I can't stop thinking about some of the stories you've been telling us. I can't even imagine what it would have been like to have to not only witness it, but go through all of that. We did visit your fathoms, Gregor, but that wasn't even the tip of the iceberg. The city was devoured in smoke, its citizens in madness. He'd always shrug off those stories as ramblings of the past, but during the war, he stood at the center of the heartless machine that was the city, its every gear calibrated to slaughterhouse precision to maximize the death of its people. There, he must have witnessed things far worse than the worst of the city presently has to offer. His eyes gazed beyond the veil of the bygone past, shaking restlessly in pursuit of what was no more. Oh boy. Sorry, fellas. I'm afraid I got carried away lamenting what happened that I forgot. What happened that I forgot this was supposed to be a class. Be sure to prep something more useful next time. No. Everything you told me really solidified my resolve. This chaos within Hongyuan needs to come to an end soon, lest something so horrible could happen. I'm heading to my next class. Oh, wait for me. Even after the two students had left, Gregor lingered in that room for a while, lighting up cigarette after cigarette without erasing what he had wrote on the chalkboard. Smoke soon filled the room. He left, only after almost emptying the entire pack. I was completely absorbed in the exhilarating tales of fixers. I even forgot to breathe at one point. I mean, it's hard to not... It'd be hard to not rate this, like, the best event. When we have all this going on. I'm really hoping for an event focused on him, like Time Killing Time for Rhodia. Me too. We're so due for it. I mean, speaking of events, I'm so curious, like, are they actually gonna try and tie Arknights into starting the next canto? Like, how canon is it? Is the event even gonna, like, stay in the game? Like, is this event gonna end with Emilia showing up? Doctor! Dayu! Our class is going, Shichan. Not you, big bro. I pay attention in class. Oh, hello, Miss Dayu. She was really insistent on helping me out, even though I refused because she looked preoccupied. The moment I found out about the contents of his lesson plan, I simply could not allow him to do this alone. Mistaking the Arknight's characters as age shows. You know, that's I showed this trailer. No, even before the trailer, I just sent a screenshot to my friend who's playing Uma Musume a lot of the new song. And they said, I think they're taking notes from Arknights. And also said, I think even Uma Musume sometimes is copying Arknights' homework. I was like, I think every game should take a little bit from Arknights, because they have some great designs. And to be honest, I think every character design is improved by, like, animal years. Also, she's Dagon Yuan here. Wasn't she, like, Bao Chai's clan before? Looks like it's gonna be another serious class. Apologies for the delayed greeting. Dayu of the Lin family formally extends her greetings to the venerable hierarch. Been a while since I heard that greeting around here. Wait, what about Big Sis Baochai? Are you sure it's okay for a Jouet family bodyguard to be here? Here we go. I am no longer employed as Miss Baochai's guard. Can Shi-chun employ you? Wait, don't tell me we got you Everything I did that day, including accompanying you, was under Miss Baochai's orders. As for why she no longer needed my services, I don't understand myself. She suddenly let me go after the trouble was over. So, what's there for you to teach me, big bro? Your last lesson plan about not making things awkward got vetoed up by Zulu, so... You could have taught me a thing or two if we were still kids, but... Come on, you spent most of your time stuck in Yihongyuan before leaving Hongyuan. I don't know what you could possibly have to teach me. Don't you worry, Shi-chan. This is the one thing I think I'm pretty good at. My lesson for Shi-chan and Sinclair is... luck correlates with skill. In clear, neat handwriting, Honglu wrote "Surviving Hongyuan" on the chalkboard. Oh well, I don't think I need any help in that department from you. Look, I know you've had your share of assassination attempts, big bro. The the previous hierarch in the Elder's favor sheltered you from the worst of it. She's not wrong. Back when we had to fight our way through a bunch of sweepers, were you also one of the handful who got assassinated? Oh, that? I was wandering the hallways because I felt like something was off about my room. Until Dante told us all to go back to our rooms, of course. Wait, it was my fault? You do have some intuition, I'll give you that. Looks like I'm going to have to prove myself. Dayu, would you mind preparing the thing? You have my utmost faith, but please do practice caution. Sometime later, Lin Dayu appeared with 4 bowls splishing with tea before sprinkling some powder into one of them. How to smell poison? What's that? That's powdered wolfsbane. I see where this is going. You're going to teach me how to tell which of these bowls contains poison, right? You can stop now. I learned to recognize infamous poisons like wolfbane when I was 7. If it was something as tame as what you're suggesting, Venerable Hierarch, I would not have been here to accompany him. Lin Dayu continued her process, sprinkling wolfsbane powder into 2 more bowls. Honglu was watching with that oddly contented expression. Closed his eyes. Please mix them up, Dayu. Okay, wait, what? He stared in confusion. We could hardly tell what was going on with the speed at which Lin Dayu was swapped around the bowls. When we looked back at Honglu, there were 3 silver spoons in his hand. Those silver spoons were custom made at Daguanyuan's request. It must have item for children of the 4 great houses. They can detect non-sulfuric poisons as well. I was about to say, special spoons seem useful. Also, I mean, would assume there's poison tasters? Yeah, I know. They're actually... Actually, what? It's nothing. In Hongyuan, where we are beset by threats of assassination from all directions, knowledge alone isn't enough to save you. What the heck are you? But Honglu opens his eyes before Jia Shi-chun can finish her sentence. Then he throws the silver spoons in his hands like throwing pins towards toward 3 of the bowls, and immediately chugs the 4th bowl, which he hadn't thrown a spoon at. You barely even checked them for... Tsuren's new air tea is always delicious, even when cooled. The 3 silver spoons Honglu had cast earlier were slowly melting away after quickly becoming tarnished black. Is wolfsbane poison supposed to melt through metal? People like to be thorough with their poisons in Daguanyuan. Since everyone's been trained for immunity since childhood, you have to make a mixture of various poisons to have a real effect. Fine, I don't even want to argue. What's your secret? I want to know too, do they sound different or something? I just went with my hunch. Just a hunch? How are we supposed to learn that? We're not Heathcliff, you know? You'll get the hang of it after a few tries. I don't think Shichun can handle a few tries. I'll help you out. Shall we begin with 2 bowls? I guess we could have, like, Honglu drink for Shichun. Oh, I managed to tell the difference between the bowls by reading Honglu's and Dayu's subtle tells. I see. When you say you're just avoided whatever felt wrong with the hunch, you're reflexively identifying the threat by reading the room and connecting it to your intuitive experiences. You were using Miss Dayu's anxious breathing to clue you in. So this is how you managed to survive for so long. Listen carefully, Shichun. I know that the adepts of each Heishul will come to your aid with a flick of your wrist. And I know that you residents, Nuan Xiangwu, will be engineered by the best craftsmen to become a safe fortress stocked to the brim with all kinds of useful boluses to protect your life. Even still, there will come a day when you start to feel this creeping sensation whose origin you can't identify, and when it does, I hope you won't brush off that sensation as nothing. You're worrying over nothing. Yashi-chan whipped around away from Honglu as if to express dissatisfaction, but her softened expression told me that she was glad to see him worried. It's gonna happen every time. Every 6 days, you'll be subject to midterms prepared by the board of directors, Yayan-chun. A palanquin has been prepared to take you to the exam sites, and only by passing the test may Jia-shi-chun retain her status as the family hierarch. My lady. Oh, don't worry yourself over much, Master Wei. You sound like you're at a funeral. She will pass these tests with ease as long as she has been diligently taking her classes. No, I simply hope I can survive until she returns. Wei! Wei? It seemed that Wei's rather funereal voice wasn't just out of his concern for Shichun. Wei, are you sure you're okay? Oh no. You can't escape them, even in dreams. The unfinished bundles of paperwork cascading over me like a storm, burying me. Steel yourself, for that was no dream at all. In fact, never have I once seen paperwork trained in the arts of airwalking until now. I must be severely sleep-deprived. Looks like we're not the only ones going through the ringer. Here we go, a mandatory class. Defense level, bullet, passive improved, / resist. Okay. I was worried for a second. This is, what's his name? I guess it's a joke, we can't remember his name, Shiyuha. If he was gonna survive and become like a role here, that just makes me wish it was Jiang Yun more. Okay, now we get to select the gong-shaped button. Hey, you're one of the shit boys. We finally meet. I'd hope to fight you in on the family hierarch war. If you'd run into me, then... Isn't this supposed to be a sparring match? Why does it sound like you have a personal grudge against me? Oh, it's nothing. Nothing at all. Why in the world would I ever hold a grudge against you? The results of the family hierarch war couldn't be any clearer, and everyone, even remotely connected to the mess, has all been dragged away and put under investigation. And hey, guess what? They dragged away half my family, which means more room for me. I should really thank you, right? honestly. Why don't you just declare a war against the Shiv family at this point? Wouldn't that be much easier? War's not easy, it never is. What are you on about all of a sudden? It's not something we should be talking so lightly about, even as a joke. Your family was arrested because they are under investigation for treason against Da Longyuan. If they're innocent, I'm sure they'll be released soon enough. I know it's pretty much a given that they'll all be ruled as guilty, regardless of what really happened. You know I can't even pay them a visit because you've hidden their cells all over Hongyuan. They're not hidden. All holding cells within Hongyuan have always been designed to move around in very short intervals. You know, that does seem like the kind of design that would lead people to make some unfortunate assumptions. I'm sure the initial purpose was to prevent escapes. I recently gained a better understanding of Hongyuan's structure, so I'm planning to change our policies so that prisoners still on trial are allowed to have fixed locations. Really? Where do you... I was lucky enough to take a few excellent classes recently. Managed to reflect upon myself a bit too. You did change a little. Still, you better not expect me to go easy on you. I've got my own things to take care of. Good, come on, let's do this. Many illustrious fixers of the past have said that not but disparagement awaits unjust victories. Okay, Goshi-chun. Chi-hua-zen. Zhen. Oh yeah, you have the charge blades. Well, there's not much choice we have. Panic, spine complete. Oh, it ends encounter when this unit's HP drops below 20%. Engravings. Your shabby weapons are incomparable to mine. Is that all you've got? Check out my 4-coin skill. Your puny 1-coiners can't stand against me. Mine. Oh, we've got a skill 3 coming up. $45 SP. Got hidden. Oh, doing an evade. Okay. You're supposed to evade the skill. Oh. Oh, careful, careful. Got a neutral dominating that might end in a stagger. Hey there, there's a headset. Oh, other stagger. Oh. You're doing awesome. Shi-chun, is it? Ouch. Chi-chun, I failed you. We can try again. At least I know it's not scripted to win. Win rate harder. I know everyone tells me about this magical win rate button, but it didn't really work out. It hasn't really been working out for me here. What correlates with skill? I know that's what we're meant to learn. Also, it started with 45 sanity. Is it because I like didn't go for max morale? Because I wanted to like get the... Okay, there's the evade. It'd be useful if she was like actually like clashing with the evade. I wanted to like... I know you can like slot Dawn in for like max morale, but I wanted to try out like leveling up the other ones. This is a little better. Dominating, okay. Oh, counter. Does Dawn have like the most powerful class? Okay, this time we're gonna get the stagger and the bleed. There we go. The TT2 protocol, all you need. Good for you, you won. Now stop giving me that look and get out of here. You lost most of your clan during the family high rock war, didn't you? Yeah, so what? Are you calling me a penniless loser? Yeah. You little... And I'm sure that's what I look like to you, too. I don't want your... Sorry, every clan member who died in the evaluation to have died for nothing. If I show weakness, that means I'm making everyone who participated in the evaluation look weak. So I'm going to win, and I'm gonna win without the fertile soil my predecessors have left behind, because their legacy was unjustly nourished by the blood and tears of Hong Yuan itself. Jie Huazhen, you are tenacious, determined, and strong of will. That must be why everyone stood by you, down to the last man. You knew my name? Ma'am? I do. So, what do you think? Want to make them sing your name in glory for the remaining history of Hong Yuan? We are forming a team! New! Exploring and overcoming the unknown. Yanghu Journeys. Okay. Does anybody restore morale? Okay, this time we'll have... Don't do it! Heard you managed to come out on top in your first sparring match. Congrats. Thanks. I gotta admit, your classes are definitely coming in handy. I like your attitude. Well, shall we take a look at what I prepared for today? You're teaching about explore... Huh? It's going to be an indoors class? Yep, exploring. Where should I begin? It's a very big subject. Free soloing to the top of the highest building in Hong Yuan. Surviving 10 days in Hong Yuan backstreets with only 3 items. I had plenty of ideas, but most of them got denied. And rightly so. And that's when I realized that exploring isn't always limited to adventures in the physical space. A few weeks ago. So I'm just here to fill in, since this game needs a certain number of players, but... Really? Can you really call this a tabletop game? Playing D&D? Yet, in games of make-believe, any simulacra can be made as real as... what a move. Oh, nice. I'm gonna roll for damage. Young Ishmael, thou hast absolutely pummeled the Gorgon beast with thy fireball spell, rendering it most crispy. What a formidable foe. That was wonderfully executed, Miss Ishmael. Let's start D&D party. Huh, really? Well then, as my next move... And that's how you came up with this? I love my Limbus Oshi. I think we need to bring her back for this. I've played a few other games, but this is new for me too. I'm still pretty new in general, I guess. This is called Younghu Journeys, or J&J. It's a popular game among Hongyuan's youths. Gotten generally positive reviews too. What Ishmael so proudly presented before everyone appeared to be a board game with numerous cards and minifigures. There's cards. Okay, what do these huge piles of papers have to do with exploration? Rule number 1. The most experienced player among those gathered becomes the JM. The JM? Yeah, Journey Master. The Journey Master designs the story around the player's choices, sets the stage for what happens next, and generally helps guide the explorers to safely arrive at their goals. That's why the most experienced player takes the role. I cannot wait for the fan art that this is gonna spawn. Which would be me. Wiz, strength, dexterity, or wisdom, I guess. Wisdom, strength, dexterity. Each character seems to have these things called stats. Looks like we just have to pick from a set of pre-made characters for this one. So I'm supposed to be playing this character's role. Sinclair and Jiaxichun picked up their cards with confusion, clear in their eyes. You arrive at the great city of Yanyun, a place known to be a gathering hub for all kinds of influential people. You traveled here in search of a legendary treasure called, yeah, the Tianya Sword. The city of Yanyun, huh? Cool. So why are you looking for that sword again? It's because, so there's this legend in Yanyun about how the sword of, right, the Tianya Sword is the only way to quell the chaos of these lands and bring peace to its people. And also about having the sword is the proof of the true leader of these lands, and so on and so forth, you know? Ishmael was stuttering and stammering through the introduction without her usual confidence. I see. The city called Yanyun must be in a lot of trouble too. Seemingly affected by the oddly familiar setting of the story, Dashi-chun nodded solemnly without noticing Ishmael stumbling through the introduction. Well, you know how it is. The point is, you guys need to go and find that sword. Then I will claim the Tianya Sword, no matter what it costs me. Dashi-chun nods with determination. Like, I think did we see this? I don't remember. Did they hide this part in the trailer? The, like, board game? Worked with Sinclair to come up with creative solutions to all kinds of trials we faced in an adventure. Hey, now morale's dropping, but Dawn will heal it all. From the rumors you've gathered, it seems that the Kejan Keep might have heard of the whereabouts of that sword. What will you do? I walk up to the Kejan Keep, chat him up, and try and gain his trust. Are you sure? Remember, your wish stat is extremely low right now, which means that you'll find it hard to form even the simplest sentences. What if I found a different way to gain the Kejan Keep's trust that doesn't involve sweet-talking him? I do have a pretty high strength stat, which should give me access to certain alternative methods of persuasion that doesn't require skill in speechcraft. Hold on. I'll try to convince the Kejan Keep. I think I got a decent chance at this. My whiz is pretty high. And you pass the check. The Kejan Keep looks at you, having lowered his guard. Oh, not you, Sinclair. He's still pretty wary of you. Okay then, I guess I'll just stand in the corner over there and sheath my weapon and play around with it for a bit. That's what he expects me to do anyway, isn't it? You're just role-playing Heathcliff now, are you? The Kejan Keep shares some information about the sword he heard. He explains that the party should seek northeast toward Dinji Mountains. But... oh, what's this? Tears began to well in the Kejan Keep's eyes as he continues to explain. Apparently a patrolling guard beat his son pretty badly, just for loitering around the guard. The wound is pretty severe, so he needs medicine, but he can't seem to find any. Oh no. That's too bad. We've got a job to do. Since we have what we came here for, we leave the Kejan. Well, they say that JMs aren't supposed to interfere with the player's choices, but let's be honest, I would have made the same choice. You can't stop and help for every little side quest when there's a whole lot of adventure to go through. No, we're not leaving. I'm going to get him that medicine. What? After a few turns of various trials and tribulations for Sinclair, the Kejankeep son, who fortunately was able to recover, hears your story and hesitantly shares what he knows. You realize that he's talking about the fairy Yaoguai, guardian of the Tianya sword. He explains that the fairy Yaoguai's power grows under bright moonlight. Hold on, isn't it a full moon right now? Then shouldn't we wait till the sky's overcast? Hearing that, the innkeep's son takes a quick look at the clouds, then tells you that it might be raining in about a week. Glad we helped him out. Yeah, okay. Let's make sure we're prepared before we go. Yes! Yes! Oh my gosh! This is legendary. I don't think we've ever seen this before. Ishmael has highlights in her eyes. This is a momentous day. Not even completing the canto gave her that. Not even her own canto. We finally learned, maybe this is it. We finally learned where her compass is leaving, what her path is. This is truly the most important intervallo. You're gonna have to roll 15 or higher to hit. I know, I'm focused. Hey, I rolled a 16! With a final singular strike from Jashi-chan, the fairy Yaoguai finally falls to the ground, defeated. Yes, the Tianya sword is ours! Excited, the party runs up to the sword embedded deep in the earth and grabs enthusiastically upon the hilt. With this, we can... However... The defeated fairy Yaoguai, whom the party assumed dead, suddenly jumps to its feet and lunges at Jashi-chan, who just pulled the sword from the ground. No! I quickly get between Shi-chan and the monster. But if that crits, it's gonna be pretty deadly, even for you. Let's see if you can make the evasion save. One and another one. No, not snake eyes. No, that's a critical fail. It's okay. Sinclair falls to the ground, bleeding profusely from the gaping wound. The Yaoguai lies still as well, the final vestiges of its strength completely spent. Sinclair! Oh no! What happened? Go on without me. Take that sword. Go down to the village. Become the leader they need. That sword is your proof. No, the sword wouldn't mean anything without my adventuring buddy. I'm going to bandage Sinclair up and carry him back. I won't leave him behind and descend the mountain all on my own. Wait, if that's your choice, then, yeah, the bleeding stops as soon as you wrap him up. He's just that sturdy, you know? That strike would have killed pretty much anyone, but you know how healthy he is. On your feet, Sinclair. We're getting out of here together. Grab onto my shoulder. That's it, step by step. Hey, Shi-chan, look over there. Everyone we'd helped saved on our journeys come out to welcome us home. You're right, if it weren't for you, Sinclair, I never would have stopped and talked to every single villager there was to hear their troubles. The sword was only a symbol all along. All of our efforts and the experiences we gained in our journey for that sword were what taught me how to be a good leader, not the sword itself. You're right. The real success of this adventure was everyone's efforts along the way. I feel like the game overtook the class at some point along the way. Why isn't Ishmael's, like, raise morale? Cinema. Peak. Need like more combos. I think like day 8 from every 6 days. Let's expert. Need more young. Who's the? I guess that's Greg. Manage to understand the travels most foot soldiers go through and learn to get a better idea of the flow of a battlefield. And get their level. Oh, here we go. Oh, you give morale. Judgment containment. 40. You start as an expert. So you'll get us back, okay. I want to find out the other combos. In regards to every activity, involvement of unnecessary emotions and personal judgment is to be wasteful. I'm gonna need you to elaborate on that. Then I will share an excerpt from Sinclair's exchange with the manager 32 days ago. Begin quote. 32 days ago? What? This is borrowing from the April Fool's event. Oh, why isn't this voice acted? I don't even know how to do this. Excuse me, Dante. I'm sorry to have to ask you this, but most of us are fairly wounded, so can you please turn the clock with just one more time? End quote. Unnecessary interjections weigh down your request. Wow, that's pretty bad. What's that face? Did I really stutter that badly? It is a waste of time to involve emotions when delivering unfavorable news. The same message could have been delivered with merely 2 words. We failed. Let us commence field practice. Do not ask me a single question for the next 5 minutes. Well, okay, sure, seems easy enough. What? Suddenly, Marcel let out a cry as he clutched his chest, then fell to the floor. Are you okay? Fail. Marcel, you okay? His eyes snapped open. Task failed. 5 minutes have not passed. You're cheating. This reminds me of the incident Sinclair had so desperately wished to hide. What? The what who wished to what? Despite your belief that no one would ever find out your secret, there was one person who got to the bottom of the incident. Come on, just what did you see? Failed again. Pass over. Good combo, 9 to 5. All stats +1. What a wonderful adventure that was. I'm so excited for our next session. I'm in class. I thought maybe like it'd be like Ishmael and Dawn because they were talking about adventures. Hey, more experts. Okay, we do want... You're all upgraded. What do we need? Again, I want to focus more on like Xin Yong. Day 10. Combo 9 to 5, sure. How about we do it like this? Took the class. Ollie gained a level. Level 52. Maybe if we work really hard, she'll be the first person to get an left ego. Oh, Otis! Okay, morale -8. Let's keep our morale. Maybe we can, like, get the war combo. Attention! Today's lesson. We'll cover intelligence acquisition. In other words, men, you will learn how to gain information from people. Hey, I'm pretty good at that. You just have to turn them to your side. Be generous with my spending. By being generous with my spending, by setting a good example as a superior, you'll eventually open up. Foolishness. That is among the worst strategies I've ever had to this displeasure of hearing. Do you not see how wasteful it is to spend the limited military budget? How wasteful it is to spend so much precious time trying to butter them over? The most efficient means of obtaining intelligence is torture. Torture? I'd say that's the worst strategy I've ever had the displeasure of hearing. I'd rather not waste my clan's strength on something so utterly useless like that. Besides, if you end up accidentally killing them... Foolishness. Foolishness! Jeez, can you stop saying that word? How simplistic and disappointing. Your imagination falls short. That is all you can think of when you hear the word torture. Then, this unit. This isn't exactly a military unit. Then, the Song Yuan may indeed be beyond your ability to lead. Well, I'm waiting. Get on with your lesson. The mention of Hong Yuan seemed to put Shi-chan in a thoughtful mood, as she stopped arguing and began focusing on class. The most effective method of torture isn't physical. Things like waterboarding, electrocution, are all inferior. Where is this going? Today, you'll learn the torture of language. With this method, you'll always find the answer you want. Use speechcraft to entrap their minds, slowly constrict around them. Oh. And let them take brief sighs of relief every time they give you an answer. That, cadets, is what you'll be learning today. To your positions, cadets. What is happening? Yep, the good drill sergeant and Brad drill sergeant routine. Learn some threats and intimidating expressions I could use to frighten the target. Oh, we get morale for that. Okay, so that's another way. Oh, chains of command. Manage to understand the troubles most foot soldiers go through and learn to get a better idea of the flow of a battlefield. Oh wait, Wing Employees of the Month. How many? We got a bunch. Class over. Okay, here we go. We got 9 to 5. A good drill sergeant and bad drill sergeant routine. Prep time. Wing Employees of the Month. Chains of command. Okay. Oh gosh, this is like what? Chapter 3, Chapter 4 of the event? You know, I assume it will save if I quit out, because I might not... It's getting quite late. I wanted to at least get through this part, but let's see. So, I hear you've defeated Shi Huajin. You would do best not to let that get to your head. He's always been our family's greatest shame. Hey, watch yourself. Haven't you learned not to underestimate the family underdogs? What? Oh, you don't know. You see, I managed to talk to Huajian into, you know. This is definitely will be part 2 or even 3-part sort of content. Okay. What? No, it can't be. You cannot have spilled the beans on my parents'. My men are already on their way. But how did you know it was Block 32? I barely managed to get them a hiding spot there. Oh, so it's Block 32. Did you just... I did. Huh. That was way easier than it was during class. I've heard stories about how you've changed. I didn't know you had changed into such a heartless woman. Say something, darn it. Don't just stand there completely expressionless and... Oh, I see. You won't be shaken by silly little things like this, is that it? Then maybe fit the seat of the hierarch, however. A leader who responds with silence to their inferiors, a leader who considers them only disposable tools, is bound to rot. Jing, refuse to let someone so unqualified such as yourself retain power. See where this leads? Assume we're getting them all on our side for the vote of confidence. So let's see what level 53 and what are we? 52. Okay. Good. Starting with 45 and going right into our skill 3. We learned. Just the like slightly sideways. No, clash with your skill 2. Oh, we got quotes now. We are doing damage. Clash with the skill 3. You're not listening to my lessons. It's like, I'm the one with the SP here. Oh yeah, and you have like the HP passive, favored red coins. We could use some of those. Or like health hauler or something. Hey, managing. Oh, look at that! See if we can try and get a crit. Yeah! One with the skill 3. Okay, survive. Okay, so it really is just get to the stagger. And I was so close. Did you ever really take the time to think about what might happen if Big Sister Yuan-chun actually gained control of Hangyuan? Sure, it's gonna be all buddy-buddy at first. She's going to acknowledge the authority of the board of directors, buddy you up, and compensate you for your efforts. Oh, you know, Project Moon... I mean, Ruino was originally like an auto-battler. I want to believe they might have considered it for Limbus as well. Maybe this is what it was all going back to. Yeah, and like LCB was about like raising fixers in general, wasn't it? Maybe this is what they wanted to do all along. But soon, you're going to see people from other nests coming in here and taking up administrative positions under the guise of advisors. And it's the small families and clans that are going to suffer first. And when that time comes, I bet you'll be saying the same thing then. It was so close. It's going to be a while before other members of your family are let go. You know this already. They committed treason, thinking they were piggybacking off Big Sister Yuan-chan's forces, when in reality she had already discarded them even before it began. She's made sure that nothing about this treason's going to stick to her. Mother, father. Now, let's think about this carefully, about Jia Yuan-chan's vision for Da Yuan. Will it be more H-Corp or Q-Corp? I see the point you're making. You have not given us any reason to trust you either. What guarantee do I have that you won't just toss us aside when we're no longer useful? So about that hiding place where you put your parents you just accidentally let slip. I'd known their whereabouts for a while, actually. My haste show had identified their location long ago, but I didn't do anything because there wasn't any evidence that pointed to your parents' involvement. Is that true? How low is your opinion of the hierarch? Big Sister Yuan-chan made a big show of her own influence at the assembly, but I still have a tight control over the heisho of the family hierarch. Can I see them? But I thought you were arresting every member of the Schiff family without even questioning them. What was it again? The leaders must take good care of those who are in the same boat as them? Why would any hierarch go around arresting innocent people of H-Corp left and right, unnecessarily making more enemies for themselves? I sure don't plan on doing that. Okay, maybe we'll go to like maybe the next day 15, the next battle or something. Taking care of children. Morale -8. Okay, again, who is the most young? Who might go well with... We'll let the... Who might go well with Ryoshu? We'll see. I need to see what this is about. This is like a creative activity, but like children related. TKTDWK. I'm killing time. Teaching kids to deal with kids, he says. Looks like your manager's not the only one who needs a translator. I would have liked to teach a particularly bloody art class, but that AL black hair discarded my lesson plan. Yeah, no, I don't think your lesson plan would have flown even if Zilu wasn't there, artless or otherwise, in today's class. All S, Y, and C if you're a UA. What? But I'll SCAN if you're a UC. Sinclair? I'll snap your neck completely if you're an unruly adult. But I'll soothe, coax, and nurture if you're an unruly child. Did you guys rehearse this or something? Am I getting pranked right now? No, not at all. Just listen carefully, evaluate the context, and there you have it. What context? What context was I supposed to evaluate? Let the art do the talking. Machine translation. MTL kids. Yeah, there's much to learn. Class is about to begin. Bring the class material, attendant. Yes. Upon the venerable family hierarch's orders, I've brought a child from the Wang family. Why Shiren? No, wait. You brought a who from a what family? Upon whose orders? Too many travel restrictions here. I borrowed a rich kid's attendant. You've been bringing her along to get you to places, huh? No, I mean just what do you mean you brought that kid on my orders? Ryoshu snuffed out her cigarette, opened the window to clear out the smoke, dusted off her clothing a few times, and only then brought the child to the elevated platform in front of the class. Is this the next Kanto prequel book? The kid's kinda trembling and anxious looking. I extend my greetings The venerable hierarch. That kid's scared out of his mind. Memories of childhood are important. They have experiences that shape your future. Observe and learn. What's up with you acting serious all of a sudden? Well, I do agree that childhood memories are important. My memories with Big Brother Baloo or what? Anyway, moving on. You heard nothing. The point is, I think becoming an approachable to kids here might help prevent a lot of potential future conflicts. But you've got your work cut out for you. Children of Dagwon Yuan are extremely wary of anyone who's not their immediate family. Even worse, you pretty much tricked that kid here. You're using my name. He must be terrified, and I imagine his parents must have given him a whole lot of warnings too. I'll give you a demonstration. Behold. Laughing and playing with children brought back fond memories of my own childhood. Ashura, yes. Wow, he's really taking a liking to her. Yeah, he wouldn't stop crying when we tried to get him to calm down. Besides, how's she even doing that with her hands? Not even masters of martial arts move like that. Ryoshu was practically giving him no time for any other distractions, or even a moment to cry. She was taking care of that kid almost effortlessly. She was employing all kinds of tactics, including, but not limited to, ventriloquism, gongju, a traditional Hongyuan toy, fan tricks, sugared fruits, and eventually... Don't pull too hard. The child ended up piggybacking on Ryoshu. The fear he showed earlier gone without a trace. Never would imagine Ryoshu would be good at this. Neat. With that exact same expression as her usual one, Ryoshu was gently caressing the child. Well, to be more exact, she was giving him a gentle pat. But I think I get it. Showering kids with tasty stuff and gifts isn't the best way to go about it. What's important is helping them understand just what kind of a person I am. Yeah, the kid's really on edge for his age. I'd start to make some progress, but whenever he suspected I was lying or something, he'd immediately go back to being on guard. That's also because he's a Dagwon Yuan kid. Kids don't survive this place for long if they're not quick on the uptake. Venerable Hierarch, may I ask you something? Well, asking's free, but I gotta tell you, it's gonna depend on what you're about to ask, whether I can help you or not. Huh? Wrong move, rookie. Hierarch. Why say all that when TWTT? You don't get the immaculacy of succinct abbreviations. Ryoshu grabbed the child's shoulder, brought him to before Jiashi-chan, then, in her usual curtness, spoke precisely 2 words to the confused child, and that seemed to do the trick. Speak, kid. It's my big sis said that when the family hierarch war's over, I can finally play tons of friends. But their parents told them to stay inside because it's too dangerous outside. My cousin says you're the biggest and baddest of the Hongyuan, Venerable Hierarch. I wanted to ask if you can make Dagwon Yuan safe? I want to play with my friends. Gotcha. I'll review your suggestion positively. She says she'll totally make that happen. Sometime later, after Shiren guided the child out of the classroom, I found Jiashi-chan whispering something to herself. You've got a lot on your plate, huh? Dealing with the restructuring days is just one of them. I was gonna try and improve the safety of this place anyway, whether he asked me or not. Safe enough for a kid like that to run around the market all on his own. A place where he doesn't have to be afraid to go outside. Okay, shall never surrender. Any morale? Then... okay, we do get a 2 window. Day 14. Okay, we can... let's see. Who else could like Ryoshu go with? Let's do someone I haven't done in a while. don't think we've done like... So we haven't did that, maybe... Okay, take ACTS. The ACTs. Sinclair, Stack Gagnon. Okay, we're getting above expert. Huge success in next class. Getting bullets improved. Okay, Rhodia. Oh, you're a morale booster as well. Okay, I think this might be... Figure out who that is. This is fun. This might be... Might have to save more for tomorrow. Wait, event achievements. I forgot about that. Thank you, Latentia. Let's check that out. What did we... Part 4. I'll get... I haven't even gotten there. Cultivate the Achievos. Pass the first midterm. Pass the second midterm. Okay, third and fourth. Joshi-chan maintains tip-top morale for 7 days in a row. Let's see. Take every teacher's class. Getting there. See Joshi-chan safely to the end. Take Isang's class 3 times. Take Faust's class. Don Quixote's, Ryoshu's, Honglu, Heathcliff. Oh, that's exciting. Gregor. Okay, 400, 800. And 5 class combinations. 10, almost there. Clear all achievements. Get the other ones. I'm almost there. And then one thing I wanted to check. Like going into like Cultivation or something. Okay. I believed in you. I believe someone would. No Sinclairs yet. But this is who. Good to know it's available. 4th match flame. My 4th match flame. Why not wishing Karen? Now it's okay to do these. Okay, so maybe I'll put up the frame for tomorrow, and if it has to be a 3-parter, that is exciting. It might be unfair to compare this when I have to do my tier list, but this is the best of it. Incomparable. Incomparable. It's everything I've ever wanted ever. Sorry, EB. I have to say I do like your new icon. I like the clippy. But yes, more tomorrow. And then the day after if need be. I can't imagine. Well, I haven't even gone into like what the fights are. Because one thing I was sort of interested in was like in the... Oops, I meant to actually go to stages. When we... They really don't let you see beyond. I wonder where that's going. Are we actually gonna like hold a coup? I mean, is Yuan-chan gonna hold a coup and we have to defend? Rebellion? Because the like battle background for the trailers were really dark. I want to see where that's like leading to. Okay, everybody. I will see you soon. I will see you soon. Thank you all so much for joining me, particularly for joining me while playing the event. I try and like start a tiny bit later. But I'm enjoying this so much now. I'm hoping I'm doing a little bit with the voices at least. If I can do even like 0.5% justice to this writing. Oh, I can't wait. I thought Warp was the event I was looking forward to voice acting the most, but here we are. Sorry, LCB regular checkup and nocturnal sleeping. And I'm so happy everybody's enjoying the emotes, but gonna finish up now. Thank you all so much for joining me, and I will see you soon, and hope everyone's having a lovely week and staying happy, healthy, and safe. Thank you!